This is the Griffin Podcast, episode number 87. We continue in our agent plan, and one of my favorite subjects, nobody's coming for you. Are you a home seller or a home buyer who has questions about selling or buying residential property? Or maybe you're an agent who needs a plan, but you can't seem to find an easy way to get your answers. Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Griffin and the host of the Ask-A-Griffin podcast. Now, to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, if you're a seller, buyer, or agent, you can take advantage of our free step-by-step guides that are waiting for you at griffincourses.com. GRIFFIN courses.com. They are very, very specific what to do plans for you so that when you're trying to sell, buy, or become an agent, it will give you a perfectly succinct outline and you'll know what to do. No guessing, no floundering, just success. All right, nobody's coming for you. I'm at the very end of the agent plan, and it's the mantra that I sign off all my podcasts with and everything, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring you this education, and I want you to take action with it. But I don't want you to think that all of a sudden, miraculously, because you're listening to me or people are going to somehow help you, that it's going to magically just work. You have to work it. That's the point, right? One of my favorite quotes is by Edison, and it says that opportunity is often overlooked because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like work. And that's the point when I say nobody's coming for you. You have to do the work. And plus, the work is extremely gratifying. It's incredibly empowering from a physical, a chemical, a psychosomatic way, is that to be successful at something because you did the work and you learned something, positive things are happening in the brain. It's changing the body chemistry. And when that all happens, you feel better. You feel happy. So if you don't sit around waiting for something to happen and reacting to everything, and you're proactively taking information that we give you and you're moving forward, you have this sense of control and empowerment, self-esteem. You know that when you're feeling self-esteem, you feel capable. You feel worthy. Good things are happening, right? So this is a big subject for me, especially for all you agents that have been listening into this. You have to take action. Stop floundering, and especially when I give you a plan, it's right in front of you. That means do the homework on the plan. Read the plan. Ask questions around the plan. Don't go out there and say, I saw that this one was doing this on social media. And I hear that a lot from young agents right now. I've got to get my name out there. What do you mean? Just go execute a plan. Right? It's stunning to me how few sellers, buyers, and agents are following a plan when they're involved in this business. It's stunning and it's scary. Everybody's doing it on muscle and hustle, and it's sloppy. And that's why the industry has a negative vibe to it from the outside. A lot of people will put agents down. And the truth is, maybe they're right. Because if you're trying to do this by the seat of your pants as an agent, that's a mistake. Stop doing that. Follow a plan. So the first point here is too many real estate agents assume that their company, their broker or manager, or worse these days, the mentor, is going to save them. And they sit around looking at it. And there's some part there where I want to defend the agent too, especially the new agent, especially at the Griffin, where we're expanding across the country. We're now licensed in 5 states. We're a virtual agency, and we're meeting the agents where we find them. And we're bringing this planning to them. And we do take training. Here's the plan, here's the plan, here's the plan. Coaching, how'd you do with the plan? Oh, make this adjustment. Mentoring. Oh, you're in the middle of a deal? Do this. We see those things very clearly. But we know even at our company where we've seen that be messy, where somebody's been sponsored into a company per se, and they're just left there, and that they're supposed to jump on some virtual world and somehow learn, right? Doesn't work like that. Or they run down to their managing broker for, the Friday afternoon meeting, and they're supposed to somehow learn. Look, that's the problem here, is that so many people are well-intended in trying to help each other, but not many people know how to do that. I do. I've spent the better part of my professional career being organized on how to help people, because you can't do it by the seat of your pants. Take it from a longtime coach. You could muscle and you can rah-rah. It doesn't work. Okay. You need a plan to train and then to coach against. And then when it really is go time, you need a real mentor who's right there for you, right? So you can't sit around assuming that the company, even if it offers something like the Griffin does, or the broker who is great and the nicest person in the world, or the mentor who's been assigned to you, you can't assume that they're going to save you or get your business going or keep it consistent. They're just there to help, right? So really, how do you get yourself organized then? Here's what I would say, okay? The obvious thing for me to say, get a plan and read it, get a plan from us and read it. But I'd rather say it this way this time. Start by being an avid student of how the business really works. Now, in my other podcast, The Realty Classroom, which is a spinoff of my high-end coaching, meaning high-end, they're all top producers in that group, and it's very intense one-on-one coaching. I just did a podcast today about writing it down. So I think if you just would start with a fresh start, like I did, by the way, 22 and a half years in the business specifically, about 12 years in, even after being coached and coaching, I finally started to write down. I always have a pen and there's a yellow pad right next to me. I always write down better questions as I evolve. So I wrote down, how does the business really work? And much thanks to Michael Gerber's work, The E-Myth, and a lot of his audiobook business I listened to. And he asked that question, how does the business really work? Right? Because you can assume that you know how to sell houses, but do you know as an agent how the agent business really works? I don't mean you're going to run the brokerage, but I mean you as an independent contractor real estate agent, you need to know how the business works, or you're in trouble from day one. Look, we always challenge people. If you're going to come join the Griffin, we want you to interview somewhere else. And we want you to ask them, what's their plan for the agent? What's their plan for the seller? What's their plan for the buyer? Because when you come here, that's the way we do it here. We keep you rooted in that. We're not a collection of the latest gimmick or the latest shiny object. We understand that this is a very serious business. You're helping somebody with the single largest financial and emotional transaction they'll ever make in a lifetime, and you need to know how that really works. Because we don't want you going out there and floundering, and worse, causing that person a terrible experience, because it shouldn't be hard to learn. So you want to be curious, right? What was he talking about? What does that mean? Well, in the other one, you can go to the Realty Classroom and you can look at that episode over there where it's called Write It Down if you're looking for it. Write it down, I said. Write down the question. Write down just the question. How does the business really work? And then I told them to write down some other points there. And that's the point, is that by writing these questions down, you're provoking the inner student in you to think out loud. And now you can go to the broker or the manager, or maybe the company has some materials, and you can look for answers from those people and from those materials so that you can begin to, by yourself, get those answers, not reactionarily waiting for them, but proactively getting those answers. There's a big difference there, right? That's a big difference. The proactive student, the one who takes it to, instead of think about going to a classroom, you're walking in, I wonder what we're going to learn today. And then you're mad at the really good student who's been up reviewing it and said to asked the teacher the day before, hey, what are we going to go over tomorrow? I'd like to get out in front of it a little bit, right? That's just proactive versus reactive. It's not a difference in genius power. And that's what many people say, oh my gosh, that top producer is so good. No, they're just proactively learning. That's it. They're just more aggressively trying to get the answers, and they're not afraid to make small mistakes, right? Try not to make big mistakes, make small mistakes, make adjustments, right? Fix things. That's an avid student of the business. And when you start to study it, then you realize without listings and the multiple listing service, there's really no structure to this business at all. So hint, 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 that's where I'd start if I were you. And the final point here today is that here's the best part about learning how a business really works. The consumer, seller or buyer will help you help them better if you're willing to listen. So you see, a lot of people are avid students, and they can ask good questions, or they'll listen to this podcast and they'll ask the right questions and they'll wait for the answer. By the way, Asking a question and then shutting your mouth is one of the greatest things in the world you can do, because you're letting the consumer sort out the answer for themselves. All this nonsense that you get taught that buyers are liars and, all that crap. My gosh, how disgusting is that? We're in the service business. When I ask a seller, looks like a beautiful house, why are you trying to sell it? I want to know. But I'm also now long in the tooth enough in this business to know that they don't really know yet. I mean, they might have a general idea they're downsizing, they're upsizing, but they don't really know. And they need to sort that out. So oftentimes, by being a student of the business, you learn that your best answers on how to build a plan to get more listings or to serve buyers better is to ask better questions, not just of yourself, but of the consumer, and then listen. See, we can run to our plans and we can run to our industry and all our coaching training, but are we actually learning from the people that are rewarding us with their business? Because they're telling us as an industry how they want to go through the process. I'm not saying that their perceptions are always right. Oftentimes they're way off, especially when it comes to selling. Every seller wants to, well, how are you going to market my property? Well, if I don't price it right with you to begin with, teach you how to move up the ladder through conditioning and staging, why are we talking about marketing? You see what I mean? So yes, there are some perceptions out there that as I became a student of the business, I could lean back in on the consumer and say, look, here's how it really works. That's the business. But let me ask you, why are you going to sell it all? And then I listen. And then they start to tell me. And then I can see more so how I can apply the way the business works to their situation, right? That's what makes it unique for them, that I'm customizing the universal steps to them to make sure that they have that nice, thorough process. I mean, for the most part, because it's such an emotional transaction, most people are never 90% sure that they really want to move. I mean, 100% sure. They'll get about 90, and the last piece is a blind leap of faith. I get that. So the guide needs to nudge them a little bit. But again, by listening to them, I have adjusted over time. And I continue to do so, because now they'll let me arrive at the marketing conversation correctly, but marketing in and of itself and its explanation has changed because of the weighting towards the digital preparation of everything, the syndication, and what that means, and then the push marketing now to get off your butt and push their listing around. So you see, all by listening to them and what was important to them, I came up with better answers for them, right? I am an avid student of this business to this day. One of the greatest benefits of teaching you all that are out there in the digital world is that, and in my coaching group with all my top producers, I get to be a student every single day. And I get to be challenged by my mastermind group on, we need to push this should be better, this isn't simple enough, and right? We just never stop. And that's what makes it so creatively fun. But it also gives us a sense of control and empowerment that no matter what the market's doing, we can make adjustments. So I know where, as I'm doing this podcast here, we've been in the whitest hot market that we've seen in all my entire business career, right? But I know it's going to correct. But I'm fine, because I know that when it corrects, I know what it looks like. I know what we have to offer. That plan can be adjusted for any type of market, any type of situation, any type of why. So we're confident. See, that's the best part of really being this type of a learner, that realizing nobody's coming for me. Stay proactive, stay out in front of what's going to happen, and don't get caught flat-footed. Let me reiterate this. Nobody's coming for you. It's the end of our agent plan. Nobody's coming for you. Okay? So get a copy of that plan. First point was, too many real estate agents assume their company, broker, or mentor will save them. They won't. Second point, start by being an avid student of how the business really works. Write that question down on a legal pad. How does the business really work? ? And think. 3, the consumer will help you help them better if you're willing to listen when you ask them good questions. That's a pro tip there, okay? I'll summarize it this way. Too many real estate agents expect their company, broker, manager, or even mentor to make everything better for them. The simple fact is that even when people have your best intentions in mind, admit a simple fact: nobody's coming for you. It's critical that you immediately become a better student of how the business, real estate agent business, really works. And the best way to do so is to listen to the consumer tell you what type of help they need, and then you can adjust your plan to help them. All right, remember, you can take immediate action to get started in the right direction or a better direction if you're already in the process of selling, buying, or becoming an agent, because you can get a copy of our free step-by-step guides that are waiting for you at griffincourses.com. That's GRIFFIN courses.com. Also, don't forget you can subscribe to this podcast right here on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And you can find us on our social media channels so that you don't miss out on any of the insights each time we upload an episode. We'd also appreciate it, of course, if you would share this content with somebody that's thinking about selling, buying, or becoming an agent so that they get the help that they need. We'd appreciate that. And remember, I just said it in the podcast, and I'll say it the way I sign off every time. Nobody's coming for you, so take action. Get to work on your plan for buying, selling, or becoming a successful real estate agent, and we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.